Hi everyone, I'm Yuanyi Li. The topic I chose is the role of observational learning in domestic and family violence. There are two important concepts in this topic. Let me introduce these two important concepts. The first concept is observational learning, which means learning by watching others. The pioneer of observational learning research is Albert Bandura, who published an important study on this. Bandura did a famous experiment called the Bobo dog experiment in 1961. The experiment showed that children could learn violent play behavior by watching a demonstration of violent play. The second concept is family and domestic violence. According to Australia Government Department of Human Services, family and domestic violence is conducted is violence, threatening, covers, controlling, or intend to cause the family of household member to be fearful. Let me introduce an article that relates to this topic. Finding some related article help me understand this topic better. The article I find is exposure to violence, typologies, and recidivism in interpretation samples of domestic violence perpetrators and found from Monash Library. This article is from the Journal of Child Abuse and Neglect. Let me introduce the summary of this article. The author shows some previous study about intergeneration transmission of violence, effects and outcomes associated with later violent perpetration, and perpetrator typology. They demonstrate the finding. However, they are satisfied with that because they think the results are mixed and confusing. The aim of this article is to investigate the relationship between domestic violence perpetrator typology, characteristic, recidivism, and exposure to violence in their families of origin. The research used a longitudinal population sample. As the graph shows, the participants are 228 male offenders. They are divided by 4 groups, only based off their self-report, which are observe-only groups, witness-only groups, both groups, and non-groups. 12.7% of the total sample was placed in observe-only group. 11.4% was placed in witness-only group. 9.2% was placed in both groups, and 16.7% was placed in non-group. The research measured 3 areas of theoretical interest, which are perpetrator typologies, families of ranges violence exposed, and recidivism. Here are some tables in this article. All of them showed how does researcher analyze the data. Regression analysis include freedom cross variable to represent the 4 exposure groups, with the non-groups used as comparison groups. Table 1 shows that observe-only groups did not appear to predict typologies. When group was compared to the other groups, instead of only compared to the non-groups, those in witness groups was 1.84 times more likely to be classified as general violent offenders, and those in the both groups was 2.37 times more likely to be classified as general violent offender. In the table 2, we can see that the research wants to analyze exposure and recidivism occurs. However, compared to the non-groups, no significant results are found between observe-only, witness-only, and both groups, and recidivism occur. Looking at Table 3, the research finds that compared to those who report no violence in their families of origin, men in the both groups had 2.4 times the odds of committing more frequent domestic violence recidivism offenses, and this considered with their hypothesis that Those who were exposed to both types of violence was more likely to receive more often than those who were exposed to no violence. In conclusion, who witnessed interparental violence is more likely to classify as general violent offenders. This considers a research hypothesis. Who in the both groups are more likely to recidivism more frequently. However, no important finding for typologies and recidivism. In this article, the author calls on theories such as intergeneration transmission of violent hypercity, social learning theory, to emphasize the role of operational learning in domestic violence. Let's talk about critical thinking in this article. Here are some main strengths in this article. This article uses a population sample, which might provide more data and understanding of how intergenerational transmission of violence is transmitted, and how those factors, which are not discussed in treatment, might affect recidivism rate. Also, this article cooperates previous studies from different samples, such as Mara's Sinili sample, Karma's community samples, Damari's undergraduate samples, Hotels and Sugarman's literary reviews, and Husker and Hamburger's samples with both Sinilis and communities participate. This article is important in order to identify perpetrator characteristics that should receive attention in treatment program for domestic violence perpetrators. Although this article almost achieved the target, it still has some limitations. For instance, the population in this study is incomplete, because some men who were observed for their intersections are excluded. The information regarding families of a range exposure to violence are from over the self-report, which means the information is subjective, that might be incorrect. And unfortunately, the research do not have enough important detail to confirm the information. The improvement in this article can be collecting data from multiple sources and from various socio-economic backgrounds, so that the samples do not fall prey to bias. Here are some references in my presentation. Thank you for watching.